So we are doing athletic training today because I'm going towards the athletic development route with things. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is why Forrest's here to walk me through it. We're here getting speedy, 40-inch vert. I'm gonna run a 4.440. I'm gonna squat 500 pounds.
He's high. Remember that.
That's the goal. And I'm gonna run marathons. I'm gonna do it all. And Forrest's gonna help me with it. Forrest's gonna help me with all of it. Far and RJ with Beyond Built are gonna help me with all of it. What are we doing today?
You're doing a concentric focus day, which means we are going to focus on maximum power output and speed in some contexts. So he's doing what's called omni-contraction training, which means you train a contraction type, because if you think about an athlete, sometimes they gotta slow down, sometimes they gotta stop and change directions, and sometimes they gotta move fast. So we're running him through that cycle right now. So we're gonna go through the concentric focus day. I don't even know what you have in your block.
Hatfields to start.
Hatfields to start, so we'll
Hip
start
thruster next.
Cool, so we're gonna do Hatfield squats to start, and then we'll show you guys kind of what it looks like in the thought process as we go.
Cool. You use this?
Yeah. It's way easier to have your hands in front of you. You'll find out.
This is why I didn't do it, because this unracking, when I put 225 on it, it's gonna be uncomfortable.
If you're technically broken down, it's not a great idea. So I'm not big on like, again, like you have an eccentric day where it's like a 5-second eccentric, you're focusing on the eccentric quality. When you're doing your concentric day, it has to just demonstrate that you have the control, but not to the point where it's like exaggerated for 5 seconds. Same thing with the isometric day, right? So it's like you drop, but like you're not gonna drop and like shift your knee all the way out, you're gonna get hurt. So not slow enough that you're trying to do like an eccentric the way you would in like a bodybuilding style training, but with control.
So with this movement, I had a few people ask like, why am I doing this? What's the purpose of it? I've noticed that when I first started doing it, my knees, I felt my knees like 2 days post, like,
Sure.
and now I don't.
Of course.
So I'm sure at some level this is strengthening my knee.
So when you do unilateral work, there was actually research here that actually just came out today. Bilateral exercises, which involve two limbs working together, involve a lower level of motor unit recruitment than a unilateral exercise, most likely because of greater perceived effort levels during bilateral movements. So when you do something unilaterally, you now are basically pushing all of your weight into one knee.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm sure you saw when I used to do a very specific split squat that Cal does with triphasic.
Like your floating heel.
Yeah, so I was using that, and I learned a lot from that, which is like, if I load one leg and I get it strong, it's guaranteed when I transition to unilateral work, I will be able to move more weight. There's no, in very few cases, is someone stronger unilaterally than bilaterally, right? Like, the guy who dumbbell presses 100s in each hand probably does more on the bench press in most cases, right? Because you have both sides, so you can put the whole system together. So you're doing it to, one, help strengthen each side, but two, for a lot of people you find they have imbalances, we're all asymmetrical. So it's better for us to spend some time addressing some of your asymmetries, getting strong in those positions, and then when you go back to bilateral work, and I'm sure you probably notice it, you move a lot better.
Right.
So unilateral work is good for addressing issues. I don't think you have to spend all of your time, but also no sport do you ever jump like this.
Right, I'm sure this is gonna translate into running. And
that is split squats, not that you shouldn't bilateral squat or back squat, but there's more translation of this position than this. Like, right. you don't squat like that. Nobody squat, like, never will you see someone get into a basketball game and start here and jump straight up. But this position, loading, is a lot more similar to I'm going up and going to the rim, or I'm sprinting downfield.
4.40.
Yeah.
It's coming.
So what we want to do, how much weight do you use when you do
the last
eccentrics?
time I did eccentrics was 185.
Okay, so what I want you to do is we're gonna go a 45 on each side, and you're just gonna focus on moving rapid. That's it. Cool. Down, up, fast. 1. Up. Good. 2. Fast. Up. Good. Up. 1 more. Explain to people, when you're in this position, you want to basically be, if you looked at the side, I'm down, up, down, up. So like a lot of people just kind of push forward. There's nothing wrong with that inherently, but we really want to focus on down, up. So down, up. So if you want to jump high, you have to jump this way. You don't jump that way, right?
Oh, when I was doing these on my own, I was doing like 225, not moving as fast.
So I'm
resting longer between legs.
Sure. So that's like power output, right? Versus like we're gonna focus on speed for the first movement. How fast can you move? So you need power, which is the ability to generate force. And then the other side of that is you need to move quickly. You need to move fast. So if you look at the relationship of being able to move more weight over time, there's like the strength, the velocity profile, which is why triphasic works so well, which is how well you can load eccentrically. If you are able to come out of it quickly, you will generate more force over time. The narrower that V is, the more strength output you're gonna have. If that's longer, the returns start to diminish. Cal was talking about one time, he was like, I got two people, they bench about the same. One throws the shot put farther than the other. The only difference is the velocity profile of the movement. So you also have to think about velocity. You're thinking about athletic development. I'm trying to move faster or jump higher. There has to be some speed.
I'm so used to loading this movement and doing what I perceive to be 3-2 RIR.
Correct. And there's a place for hypertrophy training in any program. You just have to remember,
like for concentrics, I should just be focused on speed.
Yeah, we're focusing on speed. Down. Up, good. Up, good. Up, good.
My glute feels nice.
Down, up. Down, up. Good. Good. Up. Good. Last one. Up. Good.
Spending a lot of time on this.
Yeah. When you do speed-based stuff, a lot of times it doesn't have to take it. Because think about it, you're thinking, can I move it fast enough and can I move it high quality? Does that have to take 10 minutes of rest? Not for most people. There are cases where like more rest, you'll move it faster. Another thing too that you'll see in people who train, like if you have a block that's focused on speed, there's some programs that I've seen written by strength and conditioning guys where they'll be like, you have 10 or 12 or 18 sets of singles. And it's not that you're gonna do all 10 or 12, you're gonna have they'll have like a VBT, a velocity tracker, and the moment the thing tails off, like your speed on the bar tails off, that's when you're stopping. Because the goal is quality, right? So there's no such thing as moving fast fatigued.
It's so weird because the last 3 years specifically have been so focused on slowing shit down.
Right.
Eccentrics, pauses.
And you need those things. Movement quality comes first.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like if you look at the youth, I think the biggest thing with the youth is so many of these coaches will push more weight, push more weight. Like that's most high school football gyms, which is like push more weight, push. It's like, if I just get you to move better quality, you'll just end up stronger by nature your first couple years. Then we can get into move faster. It's easier for me to see the translation of the work you put in the weight room when your quality is good. So is teaching someone to control the eccentric a good idea? Yes. Or is doing isometric holds a good idea? Yes. Do you need to do speed work? Yes. Do you need to do plyometric work? Yeah, for athletes specifically, for some, not all. But the quality of the movement has to be good.
Cool.
If it's not good, it's not good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Same thing in bodybuilding. If your reps aren't good, you don't grow. I've found working with a lot of pro athletes throughout my life and being in those environments, it's really good for teaching someone how to extend their hips and get their glutes to engage in hip extension. So like if you think about it, sports is mostly, when someone jumps, it's here to here. So like if you can get this to move well, you're probably going to be better as an athlete. That's just generally what I've seen personally. And from coaches I've talked to, similar sentiment. So we're going to get you loading this. Same idea. I want you to move fast and forceful. It won't be likely to the same degree as that. We probably want to load a little bit more, but.
So for the people that have low back issues, get low back pumps, would you say one of the big reasons is because they have weak glutes?
They have weak glutes, and then when they do their hip thrusts, they are actually quadding the bar.
Quadding the bar as in using their quads?
Very much so, and it can happen, like you're going down and then you're extending, so I get that there's a partial play in that, but it's like, if you get your feet positioned correctly and you drive through the heel as you squeeze the big toe down, you won't have that issue. Let's start with that.
How many reps?
6.
See a lot of dudes loaded up and only get like here
Yeah, extend your hips.
But I also see a lot of people go to this and go here.
If you want to do that, be my guest. Good. Drive. Drive. Good. More. Good. Nice.
My glutes are pumped. It's burning. It's pulling up. 4 sets?
We'll do 4, yeah. Ready?
Time this channel has ever seen me do hip thrusts and seen my face doing hip thrusts. I suck at this exercise, but it's important, man. Strong glutes are the maker of a strong athlete. I don't have strong glutes. Far does. Far, how much do you hip thrust? First set of 6.
Maybe 675. Not as much as I could. It's not good. My best is what? Like 765 for 10 is my best.
First set of what?
765 for 10 is my best, like higher reps. Like low reps, like I think the most I did was like 865 for 3. It's not that good.
All right, what's that? Strong glutes! Get me the fuck out of here, dude. This thing, you gotta be using it. If you're not using this, you're really missing out. Really, really missing out, because you know us 210-pound men, 180, 190, buck 70. It's hard to do body weight pull-ups with great technique and have that technique stay consistent throughout. So, assisted pull-up machine, you can control your eccentrics better, you can pause the contraction probably a little bit longer. Everyone needs to be using this, man. Not enough people are using this bitch. Full stretch. Just up. You can get the elbows down a little bit harder into the waistline and contract the last part. You put the chest up at the top. Remember that. So
Fuck that, never mind what I got.
you want me to stand back or forward?
So I want these behind
These
you.
need to be crossed. Wait, behind me?
So it's a Y raise. I want here, out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, you're doing it a little differently. The resistance profile puts you in a really good stretch position.
Because everybody's liking to lay sideways like they're going to bed and do that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just you're not maximizing what you get in the stretch position.
And you can be way more stable here,
Yeah.
actually standing. than
Also,
laying
just to
down.
go into it, like even though you're training in an athletic development model, quote unquote, for like one of the approaches you can use, which we're testing, obviously, is you can mix upper body and lower body stuff. So it's almost like a full body day in a sense.
Yeah.
But it's like your main focus was lower body and moving powerful and with speed. And then you have accessory work just to add some tools to make sure you could cover your gaps.
Cool.
Yeah.
I stopped using Versa grips for like the last 3 weeks, and my forearms are fucked. Is there any translation into using something like a Versa grip and forearm weakness over time?
So I'll give you what I've learned, which is
Talking about this thing.
it depends how you're using it. So if what I think most people do is this. I'll show you exactly what they do. And this is why. But they do they don't notice they're strapped. So when they wrap their hand around, they just do this. That's all they do. So if you look, there's all that gap. I'm not actually closing my hand. Now, if I go like this and still grip the living fuck out of it, and now I'm holding heavier loads, what do you think is gonna happen to my forearms? My forearms are stronger. I do less forearm work than all of you. I just lift heavier loads.
He just pointed out, that's my problem, dude.
Yeah.
I
hold it.
I hook
You
grip.
have, even if you're using a Versa grip, you still have to think about it. I gotta grab it as hard as I can. This is just assistance for 1, 2, 3 extra reps. Or just
I've been using it more so as reliance.
That's the problem. But think about it, with straps, people wrap it so tight that actually cuts them from holding it as hard as they can. So it's the same idea. Again, you gotta hold the bar still. It's there as a accessory and a tool. It's not an ankle brace. You don't wanna use it like that. You just end up compensating. If it helps you, use it to help you. But like actually grip the fucking bar. Now you got a little fun arm superset and you're done, all right?
It's not fun, dude.
That's fun. Pain is fun.
See, I was telling, I don't know if I told you this, I told Caroline this. I'd rather go run another 5K than do 5 bicep curls right now. It's like,
this is where, so like for biceps specifically, this is where speed probably has no benefit. So training, relatively speaking, heavy is a good idea. So this can be like a heavy.
Fantastic. So elbows in, bar to forehead. Let them know.
Yeah, when you're doing hypertrophy training.
Let them know though, like why?
Why?
Yeah.
You let them know. You're a bicep king.
I'll take that. You see
Not
this?
liver king, but bicep king.
See what happens when I turn my wrist in? See how that moves in? I'm already shortening the bicep the more I turn my wrist in. So if I'm able to grab the barbell and emulate that by pushing my elbows in, by nature, I'm gonna shorten the bicep harder. Now, also by bringing it up here instead of right here, one of the primary functions of the bicep is actually not primary, but is to actually raise up a little bit. Sure, is a little bit of front delt going to be involved? Yes. Are we going to be able to shorten the bicep more by just coming up here a little bit? Yes. The big benefit, being able to lower from right there, because that's going to be a much more challenging eccentric than just lowering right here. So, are you using a little bit of front delt to stabilize? Sure. Are you going to tear the fuck out of your biceps by lowering slow while pushing your elbows in? Yes. So do it. Tricep push down tips for the most you can possibly get. Now, is there anything wrong with doing a push down this way? Absolutely not. Am I still stretching the triceps a little bit here? Yes. Am I still shortening it? Yes. So, what do I like to do? Well, personally, I like to keep the cable and the bar as close to my body as possible, because for me, and this is just a fact, your tricep is gonna be stretched here, but not as much of a deep, hard stretch under tension as it would be back here. So I'm taking my elbow back, tracking it back, getting a deep stretch, pushing down from there. I like my feet wide to stabilize. So, you guys notice with that, you see a lot of people banging these tricep pushdowns out. It's because the eccentric is not challenging coming here. It's just not hard. But if you bring it back, the eccentric itself is a rep. Every single time I do a rep, it's like 2 reps. That's a rep, that's a rep. I get more out of that shit. Every movement we do, how to get the most out of it. Fuck balls. All right, I got something real to say, man. Someone commented on a TikTok today, and they're like, all girls do is train glutes. Why do they train glutes? Because that's not functional like men training chest and arms, or arms and shoulders. He said, arms and shoulders are actually functional. Girls just train glutes so they can have bigger glutes and look a certain way. One, it's bullshit, because arms and delts are fucking useless in comparison to glutes. We just covered that in this video, number 1. Number 2, you know what we gotta end? Fit shaming. Why are we shaming somebody that wants the big glutes? Why are we shaming anybody that wants big arms? Why are we shaming anyone that wants a big chest? You can go in the gym, you can only train calves and forearms the rest of your life if that's what you love to do. There's nothing fucking wrong with that, all right? You can sit on the couch and not train at all. not do anything at all. And that's what you fucking love to your core, and nobody can argue that. There's nothing wrong with that. So, fuck this double standard shit, man. There's no shame both ways, you heard? Hope you like this video. Drop a like, sub. See you in the next one.